Time magazine has just announced its Athlete of the Year for 2021. Simone Biles, the gymnast who took a spot on the U.S. Olympic team and then infamously refused to compete in a bunch of events. Biles eventually blamed her pulling out on having the twisties, but initially she chalked pulling out up to, quote, not having as much fun. She said, I feel like I'm also not having as much fun. And this Olympic Games, I wanted it to be for myself, and it felt like I was still doing for other people. And that hurts my heart, that doing what I love has been taken away from me. Because that's what the Olympics are about. It's just you and not your country and not the sport. It's all about you. So the woman who refused to perform an athletic event won Athlete of the Year, specifically for refusing to compete. 6 years after a man named Bruce Jenner won Woman of the Year from Glamour magazine. And rather than criticize these two people and our culture of lies, I would like to look at this as an opportunity, which is why today I, Michael Knowles, am officially throwing my hat in the ring for 2022 Pakistani Belly Dancer of the Year. I am brave. I am beautiful, and if you don't give me the award, you are a bigot. You know what time it is? It's almost Christmas time. And Movement, the original watch brand to break all the rules, is right there for you. How did Movement start? You know, Movement started because two college dropouts who didn't want to overpay for a nice watch, they started this great company. It became extremely popular. They brought you really, really nice watches at a really reasonable price. They cut out the middleman. They've got a ton of other stuff even beyond the watches. They've got hundreds of watches, blue light glasses, sunglasses, super cool jewelry. You can stuff your stockings with all this sort of stuff. It was the best present that I've ever gotten for my father and my stepmother. I got them Movement watches one year, and they loved it much more than any watch I've gotten them. I have had a lot of watches. I have a lot of watches. Some are very, very expensive. Some are not very expensive. And I love my Movement watches, especially the Revolver. Check out the Revolver. That's a top one. And they've got a great automatic watch too. So go check that out. Be the winner this Christmas season with a gift from Movement. MVMT.com/Knowles. That is MVMT.com/Knowles, and join the movement. The Time Athlete of the Year is someone who chose not to be an athlete. Now, obviously, Simone Biles, I'm not familiar with her work at all, but I'm told that she's a very good gymnast. But she's not being given the award because she's a good gymnast. She's not being given the award in the years where she did gymnastics. She is being given the award specifically, explicitly, for refusing to be an athlete. Much as Bruce Jenner was given the award Woman of the Year, specifically because he's a man, he's not a woman. Norm Macdonald, the late great Norm Macdonald, had a bit on this where he said, you know, now we're told that Bruce Jenner is stunning and brave, and you know he might be brave, but I don't think he's stunning. I don't think he's beautiful. Not very many women, you know, even women in their 60s are like supermodels, right? So it's a lie. It's a lie that we're being forced to believe in. These people are being given awards to make the award a lie. Where does this come from? I think this comes from a natural inclination in the Christian West, which is to take the side of the victim. In pagan cultures, in non-Christian or before that non-Jewish cultures, you don't really see a lot of concern for the victim. You see a lot of, this is what the philosopher and sociologist René Girard pointed out, that you see a lot of scapegoating. You see a lot of attacking a victim, unanimous violence against a victim, and then you scapegoat, and then the civilization can move on. You see cultures beginning with founding murders, taking the side of the murderer, not the side of the murdered. And then in the Jewish scriptures, and then in its fulfillment in Christianity, you see God taking the side of the victim. And we do that. And that is expressed in leftism. That's expressed in wokeism. That you always want to take the side of the person who seems weaker, the person who seems to be the underdog. And this can be taken to a point of absurdity now, where because Bruce Jenner, for instance, suffers from confusion about his sex because he is in that way marginalized, we need to take it to the complete other extreme and say he's the most beautiful, stunning woman in the world. Because Simone Biles claims to have had some mental problems before the event. And really she just said, yeah, I don't feel like it, I'm not having fun, because she's not having a good time. We need to say she's the greatest athlete in the whole wide, the best athlete of the year, even though she didn't really do athletics this year. That takes things to a point of absurdity, but it does seem to be in our DNA. It reminds me of a line from Chesterton, who points out that the modern world isn't terrible because it's so bad. It's terrible in some ways because it's too good. It's not the vices that are getting us, it's the virtues. When you take one virtue out of context and you blow it up out of proportion and you disregard all the other virtues, then you can end up in a bad place. And that's where we are right now. Did you like that clip? Be honest. I can take it. Did you? Well, if you did, even if you didn't, please subscribe, ring that bell, get the notifications for when I have new videos out. And if you really want to get the notifications, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Type in The Michael Knowles Show. Boom. Subscribe. Boom. 5-star review. Boom. See you next time.